Welcome to the Fill the Funnel podcast with Jeff Swan
and Tom Slocum.
We're here to help you crush your targets
with tactical tips and insights you can act on today.
Don't have a fancy tech stack, a big budget, or even a huge team to lean on?
Well, it's time to get that solved today with FTF Fridays.
Hey everyone, welcome to another amazing episode of Fill the Funnel with your host, Tom Slocum, and my co-host, Jeff Swan. Today, we have a special guest with us, a good friend of mine that I met a couple months ago, Angel Sandoval. Angel currently is the VP of Sales at Dave Porter, a podcast host and sales coach with Sales Rehab. And as he says in his LinkedIn headline, he is married to the sales game. And today we are talking about a fun topic called illuminating problems. Right? That's what we do in sales. We shine a light on our prospects' problems and look for a way to solve them. And Angel, you have an amazing acronym for the word of sales. Why don't you kind of tell us what that is and where you came up with it and how it helps you illuminate the problems?
Yeah, no. So to me, sales is a different acronym, right? To me, sales means, so there's the actual acronym, shine a light everywhere or shining a light everywhere. That's what I really think of when you think of sales. So I'm excited to dive in. I think a lot of people, now we're talking about like fill the funnel, forget that filling the funnel, you have to take them from a random ass lead, someone that doesn't know anything, to an actual prospect that's interested, that has a problem, right? And so sometimes we get too much on like everybody needs to be a prospect and we get so linear on the sale. So when you see a sale as shining a light everywhere, imagine the possibilities of strategic partnerships, of referrals, of leads, because your goal is one simple: illuminating problems, right? And then helping prospects seeing the solution. So hopefully that resonates with some people and we get to dive here.
I love that. I've never heard that before. Shine a light everywhere. That is the entire point of sales, right? When you're calling somebody, if you've led with my favorite formula, the 3 R's, right? The research, the relevancy, and you're being relatable. That's your whole intent on that call, right? Is to promote action and movement and shining a light on the situation they're in, right? What's that pain? What's that area that they're tackling? And how can we illuminate it enough to convince them to take action to get the job done? What do you think?
100%.
Awesome. Yeah. So, this is something that's really important. I was doing a webinar with Josh Braun in January. And one of the things that he said, and he's really amazing at this. So Josh, if you're listening, thumbs up. Illuminating the problem. Illuminating the problem is something that's so important in sales. And to your point, Angel, it's not just about the problem. There's a lot of things that you can illuminate, right? Let people know that, hey, that goal you're trying to achieve, that's achievable. And here's how. Right? Like, it's not just problem, but if you focus your sales time on illuminating a problem and really focusing on understanding that problem in detail and what's going on in your prospect's life, and then focusing on ways to eliminate that problem, then next thing you know, you have yourself somebody who's interested. They're curious to hear what you have to say. They're interested in learning more. They're eager to actually sit and evaluate your solution. So you put that together and you have yourself a very successful, outbound effort, because you're focusing again on that illumination that we're talking about here.
Well, right? And I'd like to jump in here because you make a great point too, is it's not just about the pain. So I actually did another podcast yesterday with an amazing Brad Seaman, amazing guy. And we talked actually about, I used to be a used car salesman, Angel, and the whole point was always show them the dream of getting that new vehicle, right? Putting them in the car, showing them that vision. And so Brad and I got in this conversation that, do you believe in sometimes illuminating the pain more and leading your sales convo around the pain that they're experiencing, or going towards the dream and illuminating the light on what could be, the goals or the vision, and actually think forward versus backwards?
Well, it all depends on your prospect, right, and what they're going through. And that's why I like the concept of a light, guys, because if you think about it, if I'm at a concert, what happens when they're like, hey, put your phones up, show us that light? That's not really exactly right. The only problem there is that what happens when they do that? They shine the light, everybody shines some tiny light, and what happens is it changes the energy completely. So the reason I like the light concept is if I have a commercial building, I'm going to need a really strong solar powered if I want to do that, right? Or if you get a tire at the like if your tire pops in the middle of the night, you just need a flashlight, right? You don't need a whole on thing. So it all depends. The answer is it depends. If the problem is so big, you don't want to be the guy that turns on the light and shows them all the problems to the point where, well, Jeff, you only fix this one part, you're officially useless. So it depends. So in the beginning, you're just trying to find enough. So I always like to tell people, if it's a dark room, you're just going through, you shine one, you're like, ooh, that's a big problem that we know we're not going to tackle right now. Let's just let them know, like, hey, you see that over there? It's like an inspection, right? Hey, you see that over there? That could be that is going to be a problem in the future. Right now, if you look to your right, that's a foreseeable problem that we can actually fix right now. So it's like kind of like you're doing an inspection with the light, right? You got to be smart on where you put that light. With that being said, you have to remember too, being a light to someone is people go through some dark stuff in our heads. I mean, the three of us can agree to that. So even if you light that problem in the business, the question becomes is, how are you becoming a solution in their personal life? Are you making them smile? Did they leave better after the phone call? Did they not? Right? I'll leave it at this on this end. So one, it depends. Two, if I get a prospect that's not in it with me, like it's not energy, they're not going to be in a buying state anytime soon. So there's no need for me to even try to do that. My goal is to try to bring up their emotions, right? Get them in that state where they want to buy from me. So I don't think a lot of people think about these things when they're selling, especially in the software and SaaS space. We're so linear. So we got to learn to do that, you know? I hope that answered the question. I hope I didn't derail there.
That was perfect, right?
I love that, Angel.
Yeah.
I love how you're like, you throw on different levels, right? Like you're shining a little bit of light, then a lot of light, then a little bit, then a lot. And you're backing that up with like, hey, making you feel good about it. So not just like saying, hey, these are huge problems and, cry yourself to sleep at night. No, it's more like, hey, this is a problem that you should know about. And here's a solution. Here's a way to make that better.
Exactly. I mean, think about talking to your wife, right? How many times have you come and try to give them out of the problem, and then it just becomes so big that it turns into a fight, and then it's like the worst day. But if you go, oh my goodness, I'm going to shine a light here. Honestly, I think 3 weeks from now, we're going to have a financial conversation. But for now, let's tackle cleaning the restroom real quick, because that's what we can actually do at this specific moment. And then it gives them on that agreeance mode. And it's like, oh, we cleaned the restroom together. Oh, we did this together. Oh, now we can sit down and have that. I need you to not buy this and spend this conversation, right?
Well, I like how you put this together too, because that's what me and Jeff encourage a lot of our people that we work with to help them in their sales outreach is take things in bite-sized pieces, right? Like it doesn't have to be this big word vomit in one email or on one cold call. You can illuminate their problem over pieces, right? And based on triggers. Hey, I see on your site or this and that you're going through some of this. Seems like a big project. I can help you here on this one small piece right now. Would this be of any interest to talk tomorrow at 2:00? Right? And you can break it up into bite-sized pieces for them and take them through an experience versus let's tackle. It's just like when you go to the mechanic and your car, Jeff, right? You go get the big old bill. Hey, your whole car is going to take $5,000 to get fixed. And you're like, son of a bitch, 5 G's. But then they say, hey, but you know what? That's the big picture. But the thing you need to get before you could come off this lot is, $300 and we can start there. Perfect. You go tackle the 300 and then you work your way to the big project. It's the same thing with talking with prospects. Just determine where you can illuminate your problems and take them through that journey.
And those things just bring you, like, you're trying to buy yourself credibility and authority without throwing just my company's credibility and authority. Here, look at all our stats, right? But if you sit there and you just walk them through something, even through something personal. So this is going to be a crazy strategy. I don't know if you guys have taught that before. I don't know if a lot of people like it. But so what I used to do when I was in software, basically, I would actually go and hunt their Facebooks and their Instagram. I'm huge on social media. So I would go and then I would see average likes and who are the people liking. Is it the same people over and over and it's only 4 to 5 likes? That means this person's social life is not as strong as you wish it was. Therefore, when they show up to the call, I need to feed the site that they hope that they have. So I'm shining a light to like, oh, somebody actually likes me and I can therefore be myself and be social. But that's based on what I would research and see like, okay, so their Facebook, they only get one comment. It's usually the same bomb or the same thing. And or is somebody trying to pitch them, okay, if I go to their Instagram, they don't exist on Instagram. Interesting. Go to their LinkedIn, kind of active, not super active, but they do more of this and this. I'm like, interesting. So when you try to get to like a Tom, right? I didn't get to Tom through LinkedIn. That would have been naive from my end because he's known in LinkedIn. I'm going to go through Instagram, right? Because I know that that's something he's trying to learn to engage more of. Does that make sense? So like,
yeah.
Again, it's looking at the person as a whole, not as a person as just part of the company that makes this shining a light everywhere that makes it more easier to understand.
I love that. That's the whole point of sales, right? People buy from people they like, that make a real connection with them. And that's the whole point. Forget your company, forget your value prop, forget all of that, right? That's just who you represent. But at the end of the day, give a shit about the problem you solve, right? And immerse yourself in that. That's why it's so true when people are job hunting and anybody that's out there looking for work, find something you actually enjoy to sell. Don't worry about a company brand name or anything like that, but illuminate what would you like to illuminate, right? What problems would you like to talk about every day, right? I love the world of SEO. That's why I've been in it for so long. Rep management, reviews, all that good stuff. I've been doing it for 10 years. It's my world because I can talk to it all day and I enjoy it. But if I didn't, it would be very hard for me to represent a company and try to sell or illuminate problems with people. Because like you said, you got to go on their social, you got to go to their company page, you got to digest and consume that content. So you got to like that content. So that way you can get on the phone and say, hey, Angel, this and this, and be that expert, build that credibility and know where to put that light in the room. Right. I know exactly to go look in the left corner, not the right corner. I know what happens if I shine a light in the right corner. Just like going back to what you said about marriage, your spouse or your partner, right? Like, what buttons to push and which ones not to, right? Like,
exactly.
Hey, I'm not going to the right corner. I'm not even going to tell my wife about that, but I'll go to the left side. I'll shine a light over there and start small and try to work my way to that corner.
And I will add on to that, what you just said right there. So like, illuminating problems can eliminate a lot of different things. It can eliminate your like a bad closing ratio in your sense. It obviously eliminates problems from your prospects, right? So like you have to understand what your product does, like the problem. And then another thing is like, what about like you as a person? What do you bring to the table? It's not just your product, right? So like if Jeff is a badass with numbers, or you, Tom, I know you love doing that, then you have to be able to show that to the prospect too. Because if the prospect's bad at numbers, then you go, hey, don't worry, that's what I'm here for. Let's sit down and let's go through it. And I'm kind of okay with I'm pretty good with numbers. What I'm really good at is getting people like emotionally like invested to anything that they do. So if I'm going to jump on a sales call, I'm going to make sure like, yo, I'm in your corner. You got this. Let's do this, because no one's in their corner. So if you're not that person, figure out like, what is my strength? Like, what can I illuminate from my own just energy and my own vibe that I'm bringing to the call? Which I think a lot of companies don't let their salespeople do that. I hope they do. And if you're a salesperson, I don't care if they don't let you. Find a way to put your own swagger or your own thing into your calls based on your strengths, not what they want you based on. If you suck at software and technical stuff, you better not have to go down the technical stuff. Have someone that can answer them. Just be like, I'll get the answer for you. Be a massive connector, whatever you play with. And I think if you're able to align those two, the product and the personality together, you'll enjoy the hell out of what you do.
It is, right? It's that dream success. What do you say, Jeff? Where are you at with all of that? Where's your insights?
What I'm hearing here, and it's really important that you said this, Angel, is that when you're successful in the sales process, the most successful sales process of companies that I've worked with and have studied, they actually sell the process. So they sell the process. So you're not just selling the product that you're selling or the, content you're sharing or whatever else. You're selling the actual process of what that person, your prospect, gets value from throughout learning about your solution. Okay. And to your point, Angel, what's really important is that you as the sales rep is an important part of that process because like you said, you bring value. And what a lot of people and a lot of companies, when they're building these sales engines, they don't understand that, or maybe they understand that and forgot how to apply it in real life. But like, if you're in a sales team and tell me if you know this, like hit me up on LinkedIn, tell me if this happens to you, but you're trying to put that swagger in, you're trying to, be you and your authentic self, and your company gives you shit for it or doesn't want you to do that because they want you to be a cog in the wheel. Now, that's fantastic if that wheel is just like an unstoppable machine, but 99.99% of companies out there do not have that unstoppable machine where you just implant, you can take Tom out and you can put Angel in, or you can put Angel in, you can put Jeff in. It doesn't work like that for most companies. So you really have to be mindful of that and make sure to bring that swagger and do what you do to bring your own personality. Make sure that people understand that when they're working with you, they're getting something more than just evaluating a product. They're getting a resource. They're getting a guide. They're getting a friend. They're getting somebody trusted advisor. That's who you have to be successful and to properly illuminate those problems and eliminate them through solutions. 100%.
And I know we're coming into the time here, so don't forget, I just need to say this, that there's no way I leave today without, if you want to scrap the rest, I'm just kidding. But what you sell and what people buy are two different things. It's way beyond the transaction of just money and here's my deliverable. I'm selling to you my energy, opportunity, right, where it could go in the future, partnership, what happens if Tom and Jeff are in my network and if I'm in their network, holy moly. If you're not selling energy, opportunity, partnership outside of just that, that's what they're buying into outside of what you're selling, outside of just the product. And what they're buying into is the lessons. If I pay to have Tom, I want all his knowledge. I don't want to go through it. I want his lessons. I want his knowledge. I want his results, which comes from his strategy. And then I want his network too. So you have to remember it's beyond the sale. It's not just that one transaction. This truly is transformational. And when people truly understand that every sale does lead to way more than what it is, it could literally mean to saving a marriage. I know it sounds crazy, but I will take it that far. That's really what sales is about, man. So just don't forget that.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Angel. This is, I love your acronym. I love thinking about SALE in a whole different way now. But regardless what we're looking at here, and this is for everybody listening at home or in the office, wherever you are, just remember that your job as a salesperson is to shed light on things. Shed light on problems, shed light on goals, shed light on different ways of thinking about things. And while you're doing that, though, you have to bring your own personality and swagger. You have to be mindful of how you can turn that light into something positive for that prospect. Make sure that they progress on their own hero's journey. Mm-hmm. Make sure that they achieve their goals. Okay. And that's how we do it. And that's how you eliminate those problems. So happy hunting, everyone. Bye. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Fill the Funnel podcast. If you like what you heard, be sure to hit subscribe on your favorite platform, give us reviews, and tell all your friends about us. Till next time, happy hunting.